Okay, we'll start with this clip for some background.
Companies are telling me that they need 10 billion, 20 billion, 50 billion, 100 billion.
Stargate is 100 billion, right?
They're very, very hard. Sam Altman is a close friend. He believes that it's going to take about 300 billion, maybe more. I pointed out to him that I'd done the calculation on the amount of energy required. And I then, in the spirit of full disclosure, went to the White House on Friday and
Thank you for the full disclosure.
Told them that we need to become best friends with Canada because Canada has really nice people, helped invent AI, and lots of hydropower. Mm-hmm. Because we as a country do not have enough power to do this. The alternative is to have the Arabs fund it. And I like the Arabs personally. I spent lots of time there, right? But they're not going to adhere to our national security rules, whereas Canada and the US are part of a triumvirate where we all agree on.
So these $100 billion, $300 billion data centers, electricity starts becoming the scarce resource.
And by the way, if you follow this line of reasoning, why did I discuss CUDA and NVIDIA? If $300 billion is all going to go to NVIDIA, you know what to do in the stock market. Okay. That's not a stock recommendation. I'm not.
All right, that was funny, the last part. But interesting how we're worried about national security with AI. Obviously, this is going to be weaponized. Kind of like the video I made about Massive Attack taking their money out of, or taking their royalties out of Spotify so that they can not contribute to the AI arms race, which appears to be in full effect. I think much of it is like happening already, and we just don't know it. We're sitting there typing in Chat GPT, thinking and making like Mid-Journey pictures and stuff and videos, and we think that like we're having fun with it. Yeah, if you're not paying for it, you're the product. So let's talk about what he said about making friends with Canada. I believe what he's talking about is this region here, right around the Great Lakes. Up through here to here, basically Quebec, but perhaps some other rivers that empty out into the Great Lakes. And because like all this stuff comes from Canada, ends up in the Great Lakes, and then heads out that way. And that's a massive river, obviously. I haven't been there, but you don't have to be a geography major or whatever to know that that is not a massive river. We happen to have one on my side that is similar because of the, it's similar. We don't have Great Lakes, but we have huge mountains, tons and tons of rain and snow. And it's called the Columbia River. I think it starts up in Canada, comes down through, like from BC down through the Oregon-Washington border, and it powers about 40% of the region I live in. So I understand how massive hydropower is. But you have to think, if you're Canadians, you gotta remember, it's not just for people that live in Quebec. That power will probably get shifted, who knows, as far as here. Like power grids can, I don't know how far. I didn't study the Canadian power grid. They might even sell power to the United States already. But if we're gonna build these data centers, anybody notice their power bills? They're going up, 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 and they like make it sound like it's because of inflation or climate change or something like that. Is it maybe we're subsidizing? Like I said in another video, is it maybe that we're subsidizing this stuff with our power bills? Shouldn't we be compensated if for-profit companies are, you know, sucking up a vital need, that people have, like electricity? If I didn't have electricity, I don't know how long I'd last in this house. I'd probably have to leave or something, and go somewhere. I don't know where I'd go. Maybe a shelter or something. I'd probably get on my radio and try to contact someone, or I don't know what I would do. So let's hope, knock on wood. So, yeah, I guess that's a good thing in a sense because the grid will have to stay up to power all this AI crap, even if we pay a fortune for it. But anyway, that's how this works. in my opinion. And yeah, friends with Canada. Um, no, we're not your friends if we're gonna make your power bills go up. We just want something. You know, we want your resources, and so that'll happen one or two ways. Either we compensate you with our tax dollars, um, or you pay more with your power bills. And it'll probably be a little bit of both. So we all get screwed. Um, we get to take our pants down too, with no elbows. I say put your elbows up and keep the pants up on this one. Uh, you know, to the homie there, her boyfriend, she made that up. Uh, her name's Maiden Liberty, and yeah, her boyfriend had made a trope about like elbows up, pants down, and it was pretty funny. I always laugh about it whenever I hear elbows up. Yeah, because it's like you guys think you voted. That's what like pisses me off about my Canada homies because they all voted for that Carney guy, thinking that, yeah, we're gonna get Trump. Like you're fighting the wrong enemy. You hate capitalism, but you voted for the biggest capitalist. The guy ran the Bank of England, guys. Ugh, they can't think. I don't know what to say. They just get so manipulated by the stuff in the news that they don't like actually think, about stuff. But this video that I showed of Eric Schmidt, I guess wasn't supposed to be, out. I guess how can a tech CEO be stupid enough to say stuff and not realize that somebody would have a phone and capture it? I don't know. That just doesn't make sense to me. Because he was CEO of Google. And he even himself said when Google Glass came out or something like that, or they were doing something that was controversial, he said, you shouldn't be doing it if you're doing something you shouldn't be. If you're doing something you're afraid people are going to see, you shouldn't be doing it. Like he was, promoting the surveillance state. He's one of these psychopaths that promotes like it's like Larry Ellison. They just think that like they can have this tech dystopia upon all of us. And turns out those guys all go to Burning Man and go to the orgy tent or something like that. I heard. I don't know. Um, I wouldn't want to see it. So yeah, but they all do hang out. Like when those guys showed up at Burning Man, I was like, oh man, Burning Man is so over, and I was so right. So in this case, yeah, I would just say to my friends in Canada, and I actually am your friend, because your friend will tell you something honest. I will say, if we're going to try and take your hydropower or take your fresh water for our data centers and place them there, tax the hell out of it. Just tax the hell out of it. Make it very expensive for these greedy bastards. So that's my advice.